Hey guys, and welcome back to the Ready for More podcast. Tonight I want to loop you into a conversation that Edie and I have been having for the past week or two. And it's about our company motto, which is strength is for everybody. And how this came about is that there's this quote from Socrates that I really like, and it goes something along the lines of, it's a shame for a man to grow old without seeing the beauty and strength that his body's capable of. My idea that strength is for everybody is it's for everybody, literally. So whether you're old, whether you're young, male, female, in a wheelchair, wherever you are, strength is for you. And it's a very empowering and enabling feeling.
Yeah, and a lot of people are afraid of strength, which they shouldn't be. And a lot of the reasons why they are afraid of strength is because they're afraid of being in pain, misery. They think pain is, it's time consuming, which it really is not. But a lot of times, nobody has shown them what strength looks like.
So I would say at this point, guys, let us know in the comment what strength looks like for you. What do you think? What is your embodiment of strength or your vision of strength?
Does it mean big muscles? Does it mean, tell us what it means.
So yeah, Edie, to talk to my experience with what strength becomes for people, what it means to people, I can't tell you, how gratifying it is for me as a coach, but also as for the athlete, for the person in front of me, when they start discovering their strength. It's almost, I don't want to call it addictive, but it's a very, as I said before, empowering, because you start gaining confidence in yourself. You discover capability that you didn't think you had before, and then that becomes like, I think, do I want to call it a winding road that many people that I've trained keep wanting to walk down, because it's, well, I was capable of doing this, what else am I capable of? Mm-hmm. Then you work, you struggle, and you meet that goal. And as again, it's a great thing to witness, but they keep going down that path, they keep doing more, they accomplish more, and it just builds the person up from inside.
So what you're trying to say, it gets addictive. Just like everything else, it gets addictive. Because like I was saying, like people don't know what strength should look like or feel like. And when you get that little taste, because nobody has ever said, I wish I was like the weakest person in the history of the world. Nobody ever says that, but that is where we come in to kind of give them a purpose in life and tell them, you could do that. A lot of our clients come in with one goal in mind. Usually it is, for the females, for the females it's usually, I want to lose weight, which is fine. But then they find quickly that losing weight is just like, it's arbitrary. Like, okay, well, then I lose that amount of weight, then what? But when you have strength, okay, well, I couldn't press this before. A month later, I could press this, and like, wow. And then, okay, well, can you, if we're recording, is like, can you send the video to me so I could show my husband or whatever? They are so proud of themselves, and that is where it starts to get addictive. Okay, so now, can I do my first pull-up? Okay, I do one pull-up. Can I do 2 pull-ups? Can I do 5 pull-ups? So they're always kind of pushing themselves in a safe way.
I would even scratch deeper on this, and I would say that you start making the distinction between like external validation and internal validation. So, if you're looking in a mirror and you've lost 10 pounds, that's 10 pounds of confidence that you gain. But, seasons can change and priorities can shift, and, then 10 pounds of confidence can be lost. But as you start doing things and seeing what you're capable of, that builds confidence that is, you own it, it's yours, and no one's taking that from you. I did this, I accomplished this in my life, and no one's gonna take that from me. No one can tell me that I didn't do it. The mirror can't tell me that I didn't do it. And the funny thing about the invalidation versus the external one is, many times the aesthetics follow suit. If you start doing the thing, you will keep doing the thing, and then the results come. That that you might have initially motivated you. Those come along anyway if you find a deeper meaning in what you're doing.
We have to understand that a lot of these people, they got addicted to one thing. What do you think that is? That thing they're really good at. They got addicted to career. Being the best they could possibly be. Okay, I want to get to this position in life. Okay, everything took back seat. The family, unfortunately, took a back seat, and health and fitness took a back seat because I have no time. That is where we want to get them with strength.
I'll tell you this. I've seen people come to life through strength training. And it doesn't mean that their personalities changed, but they definitely, as they, and I told them, hey, you've done this, you've never done that before. Hey, congratulations on a PR. Gradually there's more and more of like a puffing your chest out, I guess, where it's like, hey, like I am strong, I can do this. I'm telling you, I've seen this countless times across the decade where, somebody just becomes more and more proud of themselves and you take pride in the thing you do. And, the aesthetics are still important where it's, hey, I don't want to have a gut or I want to put on some muscle mass. But I would say over time, especially as you do more and more, the priority shifts where it's like, hey, how I feel about myself and the things that I can do carries me much further than what the mirror says.
Yeah, I mean, I think the weight thing just becomes like a second issue, maybe even a third issue. And when they start getting that confidence, sometimes being at the same weight, because now, I mean, when we start teaching them, I mean, muscle weighs more than fat. So don't really worry about the scale. Yes, the scale is somewhat important, but it shouldn't be the most important thing you should be worrying about. Think of muscle mass, which is one of the things we try to at least talk to our clients about. At minimum, we want to maintain the lean muscle they have,
right,
and at most gain a little muscle, which in turn will get you stronger.
Let's shift to what strength means to us to kind of frame this for everyone out there. I can start with me. Over time, strength for me, it's interesting because when I started out, I think that I was very focused on achievement. It was about the heaviest deadlift, the heaviest overhead press, getting a snatch test in the best time, so on and so forth, right? Very ego satisfying. And, as the numbers went up and the mileage accrued, the injuries started adding up, which I think was a very important lesson for me because to simplify, I think at some point strength became restraint. It became, hey, are we making the best decisions?
And that's only because you were getting injured or you started reading a book or why was that?
I started thinking about the guy that got upset that he didn't get his way, and it didn't seem like a very mature application for a trainer who's a decade in with this path this far. Why are you still getting upset? Why are you not choosing a more responsible, intelligent path to doing the things? Guess what? If you can't get your heavy overhead press today, then what's the smart thing? Throwing a temper tantrum over it or scaling back and meeting your body where it's at and working in accordance with your body. So, to get very mastery focused, strength for me became about doing the thing better and better and better. And, as luck would have it or just, maturity would, as I started approaching things like this, progress started happening again. I guess what strength means to me now isn't only what I do in the gym and the output, it's also how I choose to do it.
It makes sense. It makes sense. I mean, for me, when I was young, it was all about, for you, it was about strength. For me, it was getting more reps on the bar. So I was more into the bodybuilding kind of lifestyle. So, never missed a day, in the gym at 5 o'clock, out at 6. It was all about putting that extra rep on the bar. That was what strength meant to me back then. But getting older, you start getting the aches and pains. And it's like, I'm not recovering like I used to when I was 20 years old. And then I noticed that, okay, when I take a day off in between, I just felt so much better in between. And that's what strength means to me now. So if I was not feeling well, I was in the gym. If I was achy, I had a achy elbow, I was hitting the gym. Now, okay, well, I'm supposed to do bench on Wednesday. Probably I'll do a little lower body and take an extra day off, the next day. That is what strength means to me now. Just training smarter for the most part. Training smarter, not going for that extra rep. Occasionally, you'll go all out, but for the most part, like we were talking about the RPE, the rate of perceived exertion, leave a couple reps in the tank because we are not going for anything, we're not training for world's strongest man or anything like that.
But what I would say though is, I don't know if I've told you this before, but now when I train, there's an internal dialogue I have with myself. I had injured my left shoulder going really heavy on the bench. This is a good example of the internal dialogue. And, I do like benching and I wanted to go back to benching. So now with my shoulder at 95%, I'm back on the bench and I'm starting to approach my old numbers again. But what happens now when I approach the bench, Based on how I feel, is my shoulder talking to me, whatever, there's like a check-in I do with myself, which is, hey Mark, is it smart to put this much weight on the bar for 5 or 6 reps? And you pause and you sit there and you go, no, it's not. What would be smarter is staying where you are and getting quality reps in and not pushing. Because if you go further right now, this is you wanting more. This is your ego kind of getting in the driver's seat, and that's not you doing the best you could do.
Well, I mean, you saw what it got you. Like, you missed so much days of training, and your thing is like you need to be training or doing something every day. And if you get injured again, that is like that totally will derail your preparation.
But you know, and also in terms of like what strength means to you, eventually I got to look in the mirror and go, well, bro, you're a jerk. That's not the strongest choice. You didn't do the best you could do. So I think that that's what or my strength training at this point to me means exactly that. It's not only, you know, what you do, but how you do it and how you approached it.
Yeah, for me, it's just training smarter. It's not every day. Usually for me, training will look like 4 days a week, you know, with three strength days with a couple conditioning days mixed in between. Maybe I might have like a gap day where I do the, you know, the boring muscles, the calves and the, you know, whatever else it is, some weaker points. But for me, like 3-4 days max.
So guys, I would turn this question on you and I would say, how do you know that you train smart versus just hard? Do you have an internal check and balance that keeps you from pushing all the way? If so, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know how you train. Like, I mean, maybe you guys are different and I mean, you just go hard every day. Let us know.
Yeah, and you know, the thing about what strength means to you is that it can look like many different things to many different people. It could be a busy parent that wants to keep up with their kids, so they need to do certain exercises to facilitate that. It could be a former athlete that feels washed up and wants to get back close to their prime or doing the same things that they haven't done in years. A true story. Right? I worked with someone who had deep glute pain and could not squat to parallel and would complain about, you know, going up flights of stairs all the time. So we did this, you know, corrective exercise, stability ball against the wall, and then work your range of motion, get down really low and then back up. And at the time, I think she might have made a comment about it, you know, like, what is this? But
what is this stupidness?
Right, but then over time, give it a few weeks, she was like, hey, you know, I'm climbing the stairs with no more pain. Mark, it's a miracle. And that's what strength looks like for her. So as you figure out what strength means to you, where your life is and what strength looks like for you, then once you have that, it's so much easier to figure out where you want to go and how to get there. Edie, I have a question for you. What's one client whose version of strength surprised you that just kind of like took on a different meaning?
Well, it didn't necessarily surprise me. I mean, she came in because she literally hadn't done anything ever in her life before. And you know, like most of our clients, they come in because they go to the doctor's like, yo, like you need to train or you're gonna die. But you're getting older, so I would recommend you do some strength training. So she came in, she was so intimidated, like, you know, like everybody's looking at me, nobody's looking at you in the gym. Everybody has their own journey, you know, in the gym. Now she is one of my strongest female clients.
I'll tell you, for me, there's somebody who I'm still training, however many years it's been now, probably closer to 10 than. So, you know, I joke with her that I created a monster, but this is somebody who, you know, started training with me, who, you know, general aesthetic goals, and I want to learn a few new things. And over time, as this person became stronger, then we entertained the idea of competitions, where I mentioned the tactical strength challenge, and she was like, you know, well, maybe we should do it. And I'm like, really? Are you serious? And so then we started training for it. She competed. The next thing I know, she's knocking out, you know, strong first certifications. This is somebody now who thoroughly enjoys strength training, understanding the hiccups better and how to get around it. This is somebody who's truly, like, I would say, fallen in love with their body as a process.
Now she knows what strength looks like, and mainly it's a confidence thing. Now she kind of feels unstoppable, you know. She
kind
could,
of is.
Yeah, she's unstoppable, and knowing that, like we always tell our clients, they're the 1%. Most people out there are not training. So you're just walking outside in New York City, just walking on the sidewalk. You're the 1%. You're the person that is putting in the work, and if anything happens, you're the one to rush to the scene to save them.
So guys, let's turn this back around on you. What would you actually like to see your body more capable of? And who would benefit when you were stronger? Would it be you? Would it be your kids? your job. Think about this. If you were actually 30% stronger a year from now, what would change for you day to day?
Yeah, think about it. Would it be you to be the biggest beneficiary? Your kids, your work?
As per Socrates, we don't want you to grow old without seeing what your body is capable of. You just have to decide what that means for you personally. And we'd love to hear about what strength means for you personally. So please send it to us, and we'd love to talk about it on a future episode.
Comment down below.
So yeah, guys, thanks for hanging with us. I really enjoyed doing today's podcast, and we'll see you soon on the next one.
All right, till we meet again, guys.
Stay strong.